The Nissan NV200 has been around for a few years now, so you'd be forgiven for thinking that this is just a different version. It certainly looks familiar enough, with a pair of sliding side doors and wide-opening rear doors allowing access to a load compartment that'll take 2 Euro pallets. Look more closely, however, and you'll start to see the signs that this is no ordinary Nissan van. This is the NV200, the largest electric van to go on sale in the UK so far. Lifting the bonnet reveals an 80 kilowatt electric motor, while a slightly longer nose conceals the charging sockets, 2 in our test model, enabling the vehicle to be charged from a variety of sources. Inside you'll find a comfortable 2-seat cabin with space between the seats for the charging cable in its bag. The dashboard reminded me of the Nissan Leaf and is dominated by this large display, while the transmission is a single-gear automatic. So much for its looks then, but what's it like to drive? Well, the first thing you notice is the lack of noise. If you haven't driven an electric vehicle before, the lack of engine drone comes as a bit of a shock, with wind and tyre noise the only real indications that you're actually on the move. Another surprise is the way the van accelerates. Maximum torque is available instantly, with no need to wait for a turbo to spool up, for example, and it's one of the things most people comment on when asked what they thought of their test drives. Our brief encounter with the van didn't allow us a chance to try out its load-carrying capabilities, but empty it scoots along, and that instant pickup means it's actually more fun to drive than its oil-burning cousins. It's quite high-sided, so it tends to lean a little in corners, but having the battery pack under the floor means a low centre of gravity, and so it always feels well planted to the road. A total of 5 trim levels are available, with the basic Ascenta model only capable of being charged from a domestic 3-pin plug. Moving up to the Ascenta Rapid adds a quick charge option and air conditioning, while the Ascenta Rapid Plus we tried offers an even faster method of charging. Opting for the range-topping Tecna Rapid or Tecna Rapid Plus gets you a fancy Car Wings app that remotely controls charging and allows you to turn on the aircon before you get in. All models get a reversing camera, Bluetooth and immobiliser, and remote central locking, by the way. According to research, range anxiety is the biggest issue facing electric car buyers, but it's a slightly different story for electric vans. Most car buyers do their long trips in one go, but delivery drivers, for example, spread their mileage over a longer period. You could therefore charge your NV200 overnight, which will give you a range of around 106 miles. Then, after a morning spent in the city, you head for one of these, one of the network of rapid chargers that are springing up in places like motorway service stations. It's a pay-as-you-go system that means that half an hour or so of charging, a lunch or long coffee break, will give you something like 70 or 80% of charge. You'll need an account to use the service, although there are some rapid chargers that don't cost anything to use. So, after a leisurely cappuccino, the van is all set for another 80 miles or so. Nissan estimates that the van could be run for as little as 2 pence per mile, an astonishing figure. As well as the van, there's an electric taxi and a 5-seat combi version available, but it's the van that seems to make the most sense, particularly for couriers and companies that operate in cities. The zero emissions mean that it's exempt from the London congestion charge. Under the skin you'll find the underpinnings of the Leaf, and so it's no wonder the dashboard seems so familiar. The name does seem a little soulless, but we prefer to think of it as the NV200, the jealousy coming from the operators of vans with petrol and diesel engines.